this is Kelly with Kellyscards.ca, and I'm so glad you could join me for this part 2 of this album mini card tutorial. For part 2, I'm going to be showing you how to decorate this album. If you missed part 1, please check out part 1 as it will show you how to build the base and this hinge to create this album. So just a heads up, if you want to purchase one of these album kits, you can do so either at Treasured Memories, or I will have a link down below to my webpage where you can purchase the full album kit, which comes with the 2 albums. These are just so much fun to put together, and they're just such a beautiful gift to give to someone. So if you want one of these kits, again, just check it out on my webpage or go into Treasured Memories. So going into this album, you will have your kit all put nice together in a bag. And you can just take everything out. There is a couple little pieces, the little sequin as you see there, and the flower. There's also some bling. So try to move all of this little stuff to the side. And what we'll do is we'll just take out the main base. Now this main base, what I've done is I've just rounded the corner. The one we just made is nice and square. This one I've actually rounded the corners for everyone on all of the pieces. And I really like how it makes it look. It's just a little bit more elegant. So to start out, what we're going to do is we're going to grab this piece here and the ribbon, and we're also going to grab the owl and the mats for the owl, and that is what we're going to work on first. I like to take and use tape to tape the ribbon to the back of the mat. So I'm just going to take this piece here and I am going to attach the ribbon on the one side using the tape, and then I'm just going to pull this across here like this and flip it over. You can also tape the little threads in as well. And now I've got my ribbon on there nice. So that was the first step. I can actually attach this now straight to the base. So you can just grab some adhesive, and what we're going to do is we're going to just adhere this mat to our main album card base. So now I'm going to just take the adhesive backings off. I like to use this swoop bang tape, or some people call it score tape, be creative tape. It's got many names, but it is some of the best tape around. Really good adhesive. I'm just going to pull these backings off, and now I'm going to open up my card base here. And I'm going to layer this on, and I'm just going to push these little threads into the back. You can cut them off if you want. I just prefer to tuck them in behind. And I'm just going to place this on this base as straight as I can. And then I'm just going to bring my bone folder back in, and I'm just going to rub down where the adhesive was, just to make sure it's nice and together. And now that looks really good. Bringing my little owl in now, I've done this on 3 mats, and just because I want to add this middle piece, this green piece in here, just to help add to the background. If I just had the purple on here, it would look nice, but by adding this middle layer, it really helps everything just kind of pop off the card. So let's add our adhesive to our owl mat. And what we're going to do is we're just going to layer this right on to the green mat, nice and centered again. And then we're going to layer it again onto the purple piece. Like so. And we're going to layer it again in the center of the purple piece. Now that's on there really nice. We're actually going to put the owl on a little bit later so that it's not bulky when we go to do the inside of the card. So now if we flip to the inside of the card, you're going to need this purple mat, which has been die cut by a Label Spellbinders die, as well as this piece here. Now, if you read this sentiment, it is very wedding-ish. So I wanted to give an option. If people wanted to give this as a wedding, you could give it as is. If you don't, you're going to see this little piece here. And what you can do is just take a poker. If there's any of these little pieces stuck in them, you can just poke all of the little holes and push out these little pieces to get your ribbon banner. And what your choice is you can either glue it on as is, or we can place this over top. And if you look in my sample, I've actually covered it with the strip, and I really like how that looks. So to put this piece on, which is what I'm going to show you here, I'm going to take this. Now you can see the words are on there pretty good. I found that if I took this whiteout runner, if you don't have a whiteout like this one, don't worry about it. By putting this over top, you're not going to see very much of the writing. But if you want to make sure that you don't see any of it, just take your little whiteout piece and run the whiteout along the writing like so. And that's going to make it that we don't see any of the writing through the holes of the ribbon. And then what you can do is take your ribbon and go right over top now to make sure you don't see any of that writing. So I'm going to use some adhesive, and I'm going to come straight down the middle. And I'm going to bring this in. I'm going to put this on now, and I'm going to make sure I cover all of that white. And I'm going to put it on just like so, and I'm going to rub it down. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over, and now you can see we've got excess here. Instead of trying to tuck it behind, because it won't be nice because of the bumps from the label die, I'm going to actually just cut around, going around with the shape to go around. Now if you have any little extra edges, you can go back over them again. And there, that looks really great. I'm going to do the same on the other side. And now that is perfect. So now when I go to layer this on, everything will be ready with our main mat. I'm going to grab my Xyron runner and just run some adhesive along this mat. And I'll just put it on here. Again, every time we layer mats, we try to make it as centered as possible. And once I've got that on there, I'm going to just rub it nice so it sticks well. So now this piece is ready to go on here. Again, I'm going to just take my score tape and take the backings off. I really love these labels dies. They make such nice shapes. And it's just a little different than, you know, circles and squares and rectangles. It's just a little bit more fancy. So we're going to put this on the inside and just put it down and rub it really well. For this little portion, what we're going to do is we're just going to adhere it closed. So I'm going to just take my adhesive here and I'm going to run it on the top and the main inside here, and then the bottom. Obviously we don't need to do this section here because the fold is there. And take the adhesive off, and now when we put this down, we're going to have this little flap like this, and it's going to be closed and nice and tight. And now we can start decorating this portion of the mini album. For this spot here, you will find this mat. So this is the mat that will go in the next section. Feel free to use either side. You may like this side. It's up to you. So let's adhere this into the card. There we go, and we'll bring this in now. And we can put that on. And for this back side, There's another same mat. Again, you can use either side. I'm going to use the same as the front. And then we'll be able to put this down now. Now to decorate the inside, you're going to find the little butterfly with the purple mat. And again, you can just adhere the one to the other. Now you can use pop dots. I'm not going to because I want to have it nice and flat. So there, we'll put this in now. And I'm going to put it on top. Then I'm going to grab the little sentiment, cherish every moment. And again, there's a few different sentiments in the kits, so you can place them wherever you want. If you'd prefer this on a different part or even the front, you can put that there. I'm just adhering this, and I'm going to put it down just underneath the butterfly. And that's that section complete. And we will now decorate the other side. On the other side, we have the little flowers. And we have another sentiment, plus we have this little sequence. So for the flowers, you can just take any glue. I've got this Tombow Multi Glue, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer one on top of the other. So I'm just going to take and do on the middle, just like so, with a little bit of glue. I'm going to put the other one on top, and then this will give me some wiggle room to be able to place it where I want it. I really like how you see the purple right behind the lined purple flower. So now that's on there, we can adhere that to the card. And now I can put more adhesive on the back of the flower because it's going flat down. And I'll bring it in. And I really want the lines to be nice and straight. It'll be much more pleasing to look at with the lines going straight or up and down, so you can pick. And then now we have our little sentiment. And I'm going to place this again, centered. Now this is all nicely decorated and coming along. As you can see, this still isn't closed. And to close this, what I've done is I've made this hinge, and just to add some fun, I have used a punch die just to add a little decoration. We're going to fold it over like so, and I'm just going to take my bone folder and again make sure it's nice and creased. Now once we turn this to the side, you'll kind of get the picture on how this is going to close, because this is going to make that this doesn't open up anymore, and it will add a little decoration. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my score tape and I'm going to run it along the very bottom edge on the outside strip. I'm not going to do in here, I'm going to do on the outside, and I'm going to pull this off. Now I'm going to pull this up sideways because then we're going to get this nice and straight. If you try to do it like this, you might not be lined up. So pull this in nice and straight and push your hinge all the way to the bottom. Once you've done that, you can rub up and down a little bit, and then this will be closed nice. Now this hinge is not rounded, so what you can do is flip this over like this, take your scissors and just go around that rounded edge for the consistency like that. And again, you can do it here as well. For up here, we are going to do this first. We're not going to adhere this down yet. We're going to put our purple piece right here. We're going to put it down first. For this mat, again, we're going to do 3 sides only, the top and the 2 sides. There's no need to do the bottom because the bottom is going to be held in place by the flap. And then we'll bring this in, and again, we're going to make sure it's nice and even at the top and the sides. And then we'll put that down. Now when this comes over, you can see how nice that looks with the purple in behind. If we put this down first, we wouldn't be able to get the purple underneath this. So that's why we did that first. So to close this section up, you can use some of your Tombow multi-glue or whatever adhesive you have and just run on the outside edges. If you want, you can tap a little of the glue on the tops of the hearts just to ensure that that closes up as well. Once you've got your glue on there, you can flip it over. Just gently rub to help the adhesive stick better. Now that that's on there, we just have to make sure any edges on this side are cut off. As you can see, I have a little bit overlapping on the other side. So I'm just going to take my scissors now and just snip off nice and straight that edge. That is on there now, and the little mat that you'll find in your kit, you can just slide into there. Now this pull-out section here, you'll find this white mat, a purple mat, and this little piece here. And for this little piece here, you can just fold it in half. We're going to attach this to this mat to help pull it out of the mini. So first we can attach this purple piece. And I'm just going to attach it right to the white. And now this little piece here is going to come in, and I like to put it right in the middle on the short side, and I like to have it just like that. So what you can do is open it up. I like to use the Tombow multi-glue for this, and just run a little bit. Don't put a lot, just put a very little amount, enough to stick it down. You don't want this oozing out the side. And I'll bring this in, and I'm just going to put it on the front first. I'm going to position it nice and centered on the front first. And then once I like the look of that, then I'm going to fold it over and close it up on the back side. And that will just help you center it. There, and once you've done that, this is going to go into this pocket like that. Now you'll see a one single bling, and that single bling is going to go on this tab in the center. Just add some decoration when it's not pulled out. It will stick out like that, which will look nice. The bling in your kit, you will see there's 6 bling in your kit. Just pull 3 of them off. You can just tear them off like that. And you can basically put them where you want. I am going to put mine right here in this bottom corner. Like that. And then going back to the front of the card, we need to put our owl on and our flower on. So we'll bring our owl back in. Our owl, I am going to use pop dots to help add some dimension to the front of this mini album card. Once you have the backings off the glue dots, we can put the owl down now. And I'm going to have him a little bit more over to this side because I'm going to put the flower on the other side. And I'm going to make sure he's nice and centered, and then I'll put him down. And then the last 3 bling I'm going to put up in this top corner. The next thing we need to do is to put the flower on. Now I'm going to use some hot glue. I prefer using hot glue over threading the brads through the papers. It just makes a little bit of a cleaner attachment. The very last thing we're going to do is we're going to attach this sequin to the card. We didn't do it earlier because we'd have to wait for it to dry, which might take a little bit longer, so that's why we're doing it now. So finally, just take a little bit of the multi-glue or whatever adhesive you're using, put a little dot of it on to the flower, not a lot, and then add your sequin. When adding sequins, I like to have a acrylic block nearby so I can place it over top This will just help push the sequin down and help it glue straight. And we're going to leave this for a couple minutes, and then once it's dry, everything will be good to go. Once this is dry, you can pull this off and it will be dried nice and flat and it will not come off. And that completes this whole album. So as you can see, it's got a really nice front, and as we go into it, it's nice and decorative. You can add little things on here if you want. And then of course our middle flap, our little pullout and pocket, and again our other pullout on the side. Now you can also decorate this, it depends on what you want to use this for. So I hope you enjoyed this part 2 of the tutorial. Part 3 is going to show you the second album completed. You can check me out on my website at Kellyscards.ca, and I thank you so much for watching.